Hey everybody, welcome to another Monday Moment at Viewpoint Christian Academy. Today we're going to talk about the number one thing that I always encourage families to take advantage of: vision cards. Stay tuned, we're going to talk about them. All right, so let's take a minute and talk about vision cards. Now, in your packet at the beginning of the year, we sent you a good supply of vision cards. They're double-sided. You can use them every 2 weeks. One vision card will work. And they are the most effective tool that we have to provide families with helping them to stay on track with their work. And that's if you're using, especially if you're using our paper curriculum. They are not an option. If you're using, otherwise, if you're using paper curriculum, you have to use vision cards. But if you're using Ignition, you might be able to get away with it, but only if you're highly motivated and a very responsible student. So vision cards are an extremely helpful tool. They do a lot of things for the student. Number one, it helps them to become goal-orientated. This is a life skill. When a student sets a goal for the day and then achieves that goal for the day, that is a huge skill. And not only do they set the goal and achieve the goal, but then here's how it works, right? Student sets a goal, let's say in math. They say, we're going to do either, if they're doing the paper curriculum, I'm going to do pages 1 through 4 in math today. Now, if they're doing Ignition, they might set a lesson, say, oh, okay, I'm going to do lesson 1 today. Whatever their goal is for the day, the student sets the goal, they do the goal. When the goal is finished, they should then cross it off and say, yes, I have successfully completed that goal. But they don't just stop there. After the goal is achieved, they don't say, okay, now I'm done with math for the rest of my life. No, they actually set a new goal, and so they would go on and set an adequate number of pages on the next day. It helps them to keep going. Now, the Bible tells us where there is no vision, Proverbs tells us this, right? Where there is no vision, the people what? Perish. But happy are they that keep the law. And this is very interesting. You know, Proverbs always uses these parallelisms, right? The parallel here in Proverbs is if you have vision, you will do well, but if you don't have vision, you'll perish. But happy are they that keep the law. There's a connection between keeping the law and doing what God wants you to do and having vision. It's a godly vision. It's a vision of here's where I am and here's where I need to go. This is where God wants me to go. This is the direction that God wants me to go. Vision cards, I know this may sound cheesy, it may sound corny, but it's true. Vision cards help the student to stay on track to be where God wants them to be, ultimately to go in the direction that God has for them in regards to their academics. And so doing this every day will do two things for the child. Number one, it will help them to stay accountable to themselves. They will have goals that they have set that they now need to achieve, to the parents who can then every day look at the card and say, how are we doing? I would say this would be with the child every day as they're doing the work and they don't lose track of it. Maybe you want to hang it up on the refrigerator. In fact, in the link below, the description below of this video, you can click the link and print out as many of these. You print out a full page, 3 weeks if you want, and hang it up on the refrigerator and keep track of it that way. Maybe that's a really good idea, because if you're doing the paper curriculum, about every 3 weeks you're going to finish one of these, and you can track the vision and see, oh, by the end of that we should have tested and everything somewhere along the way and completed that unit. And the same thing is true with Ignition. Usually with Ignition, it's going to be about every 4 weeks or so on average, 3.5 to 4 weeks, but it varies. It depends. But even with that, you should sit. Now, notice I've got some codes going. I've got lesson, L is lesson 1. I've got Q, which stands for a quiz. I've got proj, which stands for a project. You can just put P if you want. But I'm abbreviating as I go. I got test. I'm not going to put there's not enough room to put the entire lesson title, so you just put the lesson and the number associated with it. It's very simple. And then as you go, you complete it. Now you need to finish it. You need to finish an adequate amount of goals every day. Some people are not finishing enough goals because they're not utilizing these. Every day, you need to do 3 to 5 pages at least in each subject if you're doing the paper curriculum. Now, if you want to have just a 4-day week, you want that 5th day off for extracurricular activities, you're going to have to adjust that. You might have to go more to like 4 to 6. to make sure you have what you need done so that you can have Friday off or whatever day it is, right? You're going to do some extracurricular things. But you've got to use these. If you're using the paper curriculum, you have to send the copies of these in so that we can see how much work per day is being completed. On Ignition, we can see it on our end, but mom and dad, this is the best tool that you have to hold your child accountable if they're doing the computer, for them to see, oh, what are you doing? What are you not doing? Cross it off. And then you can check it. You can make sure, okay, are they doing 3 to 5 pages per day in the paper curriculum? And then you can also say, you know what, let's look at your lesson. If you go into the parent portal, you'll be able to see this. And you will indeed, for Ignition, the Ignition parent portal, you can log in just like, and if you don't have one of those accounts set up yet, send us an email. We'll send it to you, and you are able to see what has and has not been done. You can even see exactly what score they got on each lesson and each quiz that they took, when they took it. Is a very helpful tool for you. And if they didn't get the 100% on the lesson, well, you need to say, okay, you need to go back and either ask for the questions to be unlocked or try them again, but you got to get the 100 on the lesson. Right? And you got to get at least the 80% or better on the quiz. And we've talked about the quizzes and the notes and everything in previous Monday Moments, but really, really need to take advantage of that. So this is the number one thing that I find myself encouraging families to use over and over and over again, the vision card. If you're not using a vision card every day, crossing off those goals as they're done and setting new ones for the next day, just moving it along, this should be very full. By the end of the week, it shows progress. It shows accomplishment. It shows that you have vision and that you're achieving that vision for your academics. So really, moms and dads, you've got to use this.